Hi, welcome back to Renee Ruth Real Estate. Hope everyone's doing well.
Yeah,
Renee,
welcome
how
back.
are you?
I'm doing so good. I'm enjoying our warmer weather, though I'm sitting here in
I
a
guess we're like
coat.
dressed like it's
Yeah, it's
fall
just
or
cold in here.
winter.
I know
It's
it's
fine.
just cold in here. It's fine. It's totally fine. It's fine. Loving that the markets we're getting into the warmer months.
Yeah,
The market's gonna start picking it up.
we're already starting to see that. So many more
We
contracts are
had a
coming
crazy
through.
the month is only like 8 days in, and we're gonna close like 1.8 or something. I'm like, I'm so tired.
I know, I'm like, what are we doing?
So tired.
This is not what we were doing.
Yeah, wait, what?
Right? I know.
We
So
have other
crazy.
plans, and we're excited. Well, as they shift, we will
Yeah,
share. As
absolutely.
they shift, we will
As
share.
they shift.
Not until they shift us. You have to wait.
That's right. That's right. Well, today I thought we would talk about the amazing Glenn Sanford.
I love him.
He's a
he watches
genius.
this, okay, right?
He is a genius.
Which is so cool because he started out as like a run of the mill agent.
Yeah.
Like just like anyone watching this, like just an
Right.
agent.
Yeah.
I don't know much about his family life though. Did he come from a family of entrepreneurs?
Well, he was an entrepreneur. That was kind of how he started.
I mean, you kind of have to be an entrepreneur to be in real estate.
You really do. So, but yeah, so he was actually an entrepreneur like 90s, 2000. He was doing like tech startups.
Was he?
And then when that wasn't really panning out the way he wanted, he had switched to real estate in the early 2000s. So, yeah. And then he made the switch to Keller in 2004.
Okay.
So,
so he was an agent somewhere.
So he was an agent for 2 years at I don't even remember the
Wherever.
name. Yeah, and then he switched over to Keller in 2004.
So I'm chuckling a little because two Keller agents took me to coffee yesterday, which is so sweet. I ended up getting a tea, but it's fascinating to meet with agents that are from Keller because this company was born from his Keller experience.
Right, like that's kind of how it was founded. Did we say this is EXP?
Have
Glenn
we said
Sanford.
that?
I'm not sure if we said
Have
that.
we said that? Yeah, don't
yeah.
Google
So
the
Glenn Sanford founded EXP.
He did.
So and he was.
But he did not found Keller Williams.
He did not. So
Keller
he was just a regular agent.
Just working.
Yeah. So, but what I found fascinating, he's so amazing. So his team, okay, so he was Keller 2004.
Yes.
His team was one of the top 50 producing teams
in America.
Yes, like nationwide with Keller.
Like, wait, during the downturn of the market?
Right? Yeah, like this was like before, everything crashed.
Yeah.
And what was amazing about it was the fact that the majority of what they produced, it was like $60 million in sales, majority of it was online lead generation.
Way before that was even a thing. Like he was generating it. Wow.
So he and his team was one of the top 50 teams. And
did he bring those guys over to EXP? I wonder. Like,
even
if he had a team, like I wonder. Yeah. You can imagine some people have probably been like, because it's like.
Well, yeah. Well, because I mean, if you want to share like how that started, like EXP was because of the crash, he made that switch and saw the vision. Like
he saw an opportunity. That's the thing I love about Glenn Sanford is whenever life presents a shift or you can see it a challenge or a problem, whatever it is, you can look at it one of two ways. You can see it as an insurmountable issue or you can see it as an obstacle to overcome. And so he saw all the shifts and changes in his, obviously before even the mortgage crash, just as an opportunity to do something, try something different.
Right.
So from what I've understood is that he was in Keller and was probably seeing some of their deficiencies. Maybe they were more glaring to him because of his online work.
Maybe.
That he saw, like, he'll never say a bad thing about Keller. There's nothing bad to say. It just, it wasn't giving him enough of what he saw was possible in real estate. And so when the market crashed and there's a downturn in sales in the U.S., the extra time we get when things shift and suddenly we have time on our hands.
Right.
That extra time he used to develop and launch this company.
Right. Well, because the way that the model was previously, if you didn't sell, you didn't make money.
Yes.
So when everything crashed, he saw that agents they had nothing to support themselves on.
Oh,
there was no money.
Also, like leading up to the crash, it would have been like a pandemic market. Like they were turning and burning houses. So he probably watched some of these agents that built a lifestyle around that turn and burn and realized how sustainable it wasn't.
Right.
when it crashes, suddenly you don't have all this income coming in that you need to come in to pay for your yacht and your multiple homes and like all that, right? So, and it's actually a lesson, like Chad and I've talked about what we're going to do, in the future as we grow things, and just knowing that you want to make decisions that if you ever were just down to selling bare bones, that you're able to sustain the decisions that you're making.
Right.
Which is why like buying cash is great.
Right.
Like anything that doesn't create another recurring bill. I think a lot of people, especially we know a lot of people during that crash were leveraging.
Right.
And then started hemorrhaging. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, exactly. And one of the cool thing is that he actually, just as of last month, he has taken over the CEO position once again for EXP.
So it's weird. I wonder why he gave it up.
I don't know. Well, because he's also obviously he's the founder, chairman, CEO of World Holdings.
Yes.
Which is the parent company
stock
of EXP, and
Yeah.
so now he has stepped back into the role of CEO for EXP as well. So, and because
we lost for CEO.
Well, because I know that I think Jason Gehring was holding that position, and so they've kind of just shifted around what they're doing. Just because with what there was of a little bit of a downturn in the market, he really wants to rev everything back up, and so this is kind of a way.
There's another mark of a great businessman where you see the market shifting.
Yeah.
So rather than paying top positions, you allocate in different spaces
to
absorb the shock of the shift.
Well, exactly. So he had said our model was designed to withstand varying market conditions, and we continue to have the most agent-centric model in the industry. This uniquely positions us to continue investing in our future and iterating on our industry-leading agent value proposition. I'm excited to be the hands-on leader for the next period of growth for our company.
See, he's jumping back in. Well, because now we're back in another, 07, 08.
Right.
He's like, okay, like he probably was like, all right, I know how to do this. He's like, he's like, let's make this happen. It's funny because I've been talking to agents in Dubai. Dubai's market is booming. They're not in a recession.
No,
so
they're not slowing down.
I can't imagine. I was actually driving the other day thinking about this, like. This one person, Glenn Sanford, who's no different than you or than I, has to drive around every day, and he's thinking literally about these operations, like everything that's got to happen, like down to they launched in December 19th, and they just got the banking set up this week. So it's like almost 2 months later, the banking gets set up, and I only know that because I'm waiting for the banking so that people get on board. So you're like, here's Glenn Sanford, wherever in the world he is, thinking about that Dubai's banking needs to launch, and all these countries that have all these moving parts, and like how immense that must be.
Right.
Like when I think, because like Chad will be like, Renee, your life is exhausting, and it's not even like to the scale of what this man's doing. So I'm like, more is still possible.
Yeah, no, I mean, my goodness, I mean, and they're not slowing down. I mean, again, they just launched the 24th country,
Dubai,
and I'm sure that there's at least 5 more this year.
Is it 3 or 4? I can't remember who they're doing this year. Was Poland already launched?
I feel like I've seen Poland somewhere, but I can't remember if it was on that list or if it was upcoming. So
I can't remember, but I do know they plan to be in the full globe, which is 181 countries in the next 5 to 7 years. So you're launching some mad countries.
Well, absolutely.
And he's doing this like in the middle of like a Ukraine-Russian war, like there's like all this like, and it's one of those things too where I see it and I think about it and I'm like, what a staunch reminder that like the world's gonna do what it's gonna do.
Yeah.
People are gonna go crazy and do crazy stuff, but you just focus on your space and what you're trying to accomplish. And maybe notice it's happening, but don't like I'm pretty sure this is not when he'll launch Russia and Ukraine.
Right. No.
In the EXP, but when those tensions dissolve as they always do, moving into those different places. But like I was on the phone last night with this guy in Australia, and he's seriously considering teaming up.
Nice.
Yeah, like I was sitting in here, and Fred's getting ready for a rehearsal, and I'm talking to a Kiwi from New Zealand, who's the rep for Australia, and the Aussie guy who's like Chinese descent. Connected to like all kinds of Chinese and has business in Dubai, and like we're talking about EXP and how like this model his primary goal is massive growth, exponential growth, and quick to scale fast. And I said to him, like, man, you could try and start something yourself, but you could scale so much quicker.
Oh, so much quicker. I mean, we're seeing that in leaps and bounds,
like in our own lives.
Yeah, like it's crazy.
Like from where we were a year
so
ago.
Yeah, no,
what
absolutely.
Paint color?
Right.
They're like, do we want to place them in?
Right. Where do we want to go next?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, but again, that was the whole vision of Glenn, was the fact that, you know, this was the first cloud-based brokerage, and I think one of the fastest growing as well.
And that's something I said to the sweet little Keller people I spoke to. I was like, you know, Keller requires a physical building. So when you think about, you know, because they were kind of surprised that I have such a global mindset in terms of connecting and working. Like Noni and I were on the phone for half an hour today. My South African agent that's just so excited.
Yeah.
She brought in 2 new agents,
I love it.
Looking at 2 more. So she's excited about spearheading, you know, a part of this tree in South Africa with me. And so, you know, you can't do that if it was brick and mortar.
No.
Because the average agent cannot afford to put an office up. And most agents, like, you have to be a broker for that. And then the number of brokers that exist are severely diminished. And then once you look at a broker, you're looking at splits that they don't want to give up. Like they're making too much. Making too much now money to give it up for a possibility.
Right.
So you really, I mean, to grow on a global scale, I'm amazed that Keller's made it around, like, they'd have to have gone on ground and like open.
Right. Yeah. No, I mean, we even realized the fact that even having this space, it's still not being used by agents because
we were going to build more of these.
Right.
And they were like, why?
And like, no, because, and again, that's the whole thing is being cloud-based. You don't have to, because again, everybody's talking online. You can Zoom with everybody.
Everyone. And no one finds it weird. And what's really, there's no way Glenn, unless he gets visions like you do,
right.
There's no way Glenn could have foreseen a pandemic that would have everyone locked in their homes and using Zoom 24/7 and suddenly creating a culture where the thing that he started made perfect sense. Like, it is, everyone's like, yeah, virtual brokerage, yeah. Like, God forbid we have another anything.
No.
Being designed and set up that way is leveraging, you know, the ability to work in any situation. You know, like so many of the big cities, like you couldn't go to your office.
No.
So you're paying rent and lease and lights and everything, and you weren't even allowed to set foot in the thing.
There. No, literally could not even be there.
We said we'd still come here.
Right. Because
close down the world again, we'll still be here.
Because this is what we built.
Because we built this city.
Right.
A rock and roll.
That's right.
literally
did it. Oh my gosh. But yeah, so I mean, he's just, I just think that he did such an amazing job in being able to see what needed to happen and what was missing in a brokerage and what he has accomplished.
Yeah.
In that amount of time.
I think too, there's this like misnomer, like when you see wildly successful people, I think that it's human nature out of jealousy to want those people to suck.
Yeah.
Like you want them to suck because then it's like, oh, look at them, they're so successful, they suck. You know, like I feel like that's like human nature, where like I can speak from personal experience. Like this man is a genius, but also one of the most humble, honest, like he's one of those people I'd love to hang out with for a day to see how he manages the sheer volume of stress.
Oh my gosh, for real.
Life.
Seriously.
And then still maintains like, you know, an attitude of, I did this. Obviously he did it. And he said, he goes, you go out to succeed. He's like, you don't embark on something to fail. Like he went out to be successful, but he had a strong passion to see the agents thriving. As individual agents.
Oh, fully.
That's even what the Kiwi was saying to the Aussie on the call. She was like, this is the only company in Australia that they know of where you don't have to brand EXP. They're happy to let you brand yourself.
Oh, absolutely.
And you just have to have, you know, whatever your country's requirements are. So like we used to be powered by EXP.
Okay.
They're still powered by EXP in Australia. We're just now brokered by it.
Yeah.
It changed here. Rules or whatever,
right?
But you just have to have that like in the legal side,
like somewhere
on your stuff, and then it's your name. And I every agent I talk to, I always ask them, I'm like, where'd you get your leads? And then they tell me, I'm like, So did the broker go meet those clients with you? Well, no. So they decided to work with you because you met them. They liked you. They like how you work. They did the deal with you, and then they refer you. It's you. Why are you even? Why does a broker need to be the forerunner in that conversation?
Yeah.
And why are they the primary financial stakeholder? Like Dubai is like 50-50. Australia doesn't have phenomenal splits either most of the time. Australia, I learned that the companies you work for, if you work for them, your lead list belongs to them.
Oh, to them, yeah. No, I've heard that.
If you leave all your book there, and you got to start all over, which is how that's a source of keep,
Right.
If you're listening to this and you're an Aussie agent and you're relatively new, don't join those brokerages. Because you imagine 10 years in, how do you leave?
Right. No,
they own everything.
Yeah, I was going to say that's kind of their way to keep you in.
Yeah. So, Glenn doesn't want to do that. Like, he really wanted to champion the individual, because what's so cool about him too is that he spent time as an agent.
He did.
And hustling as an agent and building a business as an agent, and not coming in and going right into brokerage. Like, like North Carolina, you can be a broker and an agent the day you pass both tests. So if you've been a broker your entire career, you never thought like an agent or saw the struggle of an agent, or even the Keller people that I met with, they didn't even want the brokerage because they just wanted their commission and wanted to go home.
Yeah. Well,
they didn't want the overhead, the stress.
No, I mean, he hustled for 6 years before EXP came into existence. So,
I only did it for 2 before I found EXP. Yeah. So now I'm working my 5th year with these guys, and I just and I've said this, the growth. I think I candidly said this to Keller. I said I think my growth, in part, was due to the fact that they set out these really great challenges. Like, you have 12 months to achieve.
Right.
Go for it. Oh, and we'll reward you monetarily when you do. And I'm like, oh yeah, let's do this.
Yeah.
And that's what's so funny, is that the first thing out of the Keller agents' mouths was, so you've iconed. We know that that's top 2% of the company. That's most people don't achieve that. And when they say that, I'm just like, why? I can't. There's not a space in my brain that thought I wouldn't.
It's very achievable.
I never doubted my ability to do it. I knew it would be extremely aggressive to go achieve it, but I was determined.
Right.
And then I tell the agents, if you work that hard to achieve it, even if you miss it by a bit, or even if you don't get there, all that work, the next year you will.
Right.
Do you know what I'm saying? Because if you keep that momentum, it's really momentum. And that's the thing I get from Glenn. I feel like he's just go.
Oh, yes. And I love the fact that he only pays himself $2 million a year.
I did not know that.
He could pay himself whatever he wanted, but he pays himself $2 million a year. His wealth is from stock.
Oh.
So he's got an absurd amount of stock.
Oh my gosh, I can only imagine.
I mean, that's
12. Well, no. We only became publicly traded in 2017.
2018.
18.
Yeah.
So I actually joined. Did I join the year they traded? I joined shortly after.
Yeah, you must have right at it.
Right close at it. And so, but the volume of business he was doing versus mine, I can only imagine.
Well, I mean, he is in his own right is a billionaire, but it's in stock.
Oh, well.
So again, that's his company. So he's obviously very much invested in the success of EXP.
But billionaires, their money is usually tied up somewhere. Yeah, that's why they say that's why on Schitt's Creek she's like, I've dated enough Wall Street losers to know if you're liquidating, it's not a good thing.
Fair.
So because everybody's got their money tied up. All the wealthy have their money tied up. But if you have to liquidate, that's the thing. Yeah. I've got a chunk of change also in stock.
Right.
And I've thought that. I'm like, no, you're not liquidating.
We're not liquidating. We are not at
that point.
Happens.
You are going to go figure out how to get more money. You are not liquidating. I just keep hearing Alexis. Data Wall Street.
Right. How it's going. So that's Glenn Sanford.
Well, we are so thankful for you.
Yes.
Thank you for starting this incredible company. I mean, Chad even he watches the model
all the
videos,
time.
and he gets so excited.
I do. I love it. It's just, every time I watch it, I get more excited. I'm like, you just created such an amazing.
And we're both like, how did they not realize? Like,
right?
yeah.
I know. No. So you want
look into it. If you're listening to this, look into it.
Look into it.
1000%.
Yes, absolutely. We're gonna do fun facts.
Oh yes, Fun Fact Friday.
Fun Fact Friday.
Okay, tell us.
You ready for this?
I'm so ready. Wait, tell me your fun fact. I'm so ready.
All right.
Yeah.
So the phrase "making the bed" used to be quite literal. Ready for this? Ready for this?
Right, no, literally, like I go make the bed.
Yeah, but no. All right, so here's
oh, you
the
get
thing.
like a tree?
Not that far. Not that far.
At the frame?
Not that far. So, in the Middle Ages in England, people would gather and sleep in a great hall or in a living room area of the home. Private bedrooms weren't a thing yet, unless you were like a wealthy landowner who might have enjoyed private sleeping quarters in their castle. The main hall served many purposes, so beds would have to be constructed every night and then made. And then picked up in the morning.
Because it's the hall.
Yeah, because they were literally just sleeping just in a big space. So you literally had to make your bed.
They had slumber parties.
They had slumber parties every night.
I love, like, and the thing is, and we always are like, we have so little. Like, we have so much. Like,
yes, we actually have like beds that we don't have to like construct every
like,
night. And then put away in the morning.
Literally go make your bed.
Literally go make your bed. It's like, oh, all right. So
Chad's always good for the fun fact. Random.
Love it.
Love it. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks. See you next week.
Cheers.